Welcome, everybody, to Did She Really Say That podcast. This is hosted by Truth Bomb. I spelled it totally wrong, by the way. This is Truth Bomb's podcast, Did She Really Say That? Take two. So we are here today at a Atlanta Tech Park. So we are in a co-working space, event space for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so we really wanted to kind of talk about what it looks like as a business to get out of your comfort zone and really start taking more like in-person events. I know so many of us get trapped in the world of online programs, courses, trainings, deliverables, and we think this is the way everybody wants to receive education and training. But what's been interesting has really been, how women differ around their approach to business and how we want to be more collaborative. So in-person events need to be better. So kicking back just a step, my name is Chef Katrina, and I'm joined by my business partner here,
Heidi Muma.
So we are talking about what it looks like in terms of shifting the conversation for female entrepreneurs. And this is, I think, a big piece of the puzzle. I think too many times we get so stuck in the belief that everything can happen online, when in reality, women do better when we connect both energetically and emotionally in person. And I think it allows for a communication that doesn't naturally take place on social media or on these digital platforms. And even it's so true for that here inside Truth Bomb Academy. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of training in here, and one of the things that I was working with my app developer with was like, I want to be able to bring women in. I want to be able to see their faces as we deliver training. I don't want it to be a one-way conversation. And so much of our technology, so much of our training is a one-way conversation. It's somebody speaking at you, but where do you have the opportunity to get feedback or engage with that content? I think that for me was really important when I looked at what needed to change for women around building their business, was having that two-way conversation, including them in the training instead of speaking to them as if they don't have a brain.
Yeah.
Any thoughts around that, Heidi?
Well, yeah, you stumped me there. They don't have a brain. No, but I do think it's like, we're talking about planning in-person workshops, in-person retreats, and different things. And I think it's really critical and important for women to get together. Whether it's, it's business training, it's business, but it's also, like she talked about, the energy that is in a room when women are together. And it's also, it's like I don't know, there's always conversations that happen that when you're in person that don't happen when you're online. And there's a thing about getting outside of your normal everyday environment that opens you up to experience something different, opens you up to new ideas and to new way of doing things. And when you're around other women, when you're around other people who are in a different place in their business, and I do relate everything back to raising my kids. It's like it takes a village to raise your kids, and I think it's the same thing for your business. It's going to take other people's input to move your business in a new direction, in a higher direction, in a better direction sometimes. And it takes getting outside of your normal environment to experience something new.
Yeah, and I think we need to talk about, too, is pricing of events. One of the things so often is that we want to attend these free events, free workshops, and we're almost conditioned that free is where we need to start in order to really build our business. But one of the detriments of that is there is a cost to hosting any type of event or using a location or having a workshop. And really, the other thing you have to remember, too, is that once an exchange of information is given, I can't take it back.
Right.
Once I impart knowledge on you or give you some ways to shortcut your business, ways to market your business, once that information is exchanged, there's no refund.
You can't extract it from my brain?
No, I cannot extract it from your brain and say, don't remember that, forget all about that. So one of the things you have to look at is that there is a lot of monetary value in the exchange of ideas and information. And don't discount that in the process of not signing up for events or not attending retreats. One thing I learned early on was like, if I don't invest in myself, nobody else will. Right? And so it is an investment. It's an investment. I know women so many times don't feel like they're worth the investment because for whatever reasons, we devalue ourselves. And we don't think, like, we're afraid to ask for the money from, maybe our spouse. Maybe we're afraid to spend the money because it'll impact our kids. There's a lot of different like money beliefs that we have around paying ourselves. There's a lot of money beliefs that we have around investing in ourselves. And so we're trying to really break down those barriers, and we've done a great job. But we want to make sure that you honor yourself in your commitment, and just knowing that because somebody's hosting an event, there is a cost to them, both energetically, right, as a female, to put together, to create, to design something like an event. And then there is having you come in here, and your way of recognizing another female entrepreneur is that exchange of monetary value. Mm-hmm. So if there is an event that's $40, go to it. If there's an event that is $100, go to it. If there is a retreat that's $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, the thing is you don't know what you don't know that you're going to get out of those events. And I was always taught early on that no matter what, there's always one nugget you'll pull away from an event that will totally transform your business. So the question is it worth it to you to have that breakthrough, to have that transformation, to have that new nugget that can totally direct your business into the next level, right? That can really give you the freedom to advance and move forward. So it's not about the money, it's really what you feel yourself is worth in this conversation and doing this. So we're putting on workshops, we are putting on retreats. There's a monetary charge for this because it is costing, us, from the time that we're putting together to create the event, curate the event, bring the best speakers, bring the best event venues, provide an environment where you can learn this information safely as a female entrepreneur. So in doing all of that, there is a minimal cost to you. And then the idea behind this too is that when you go to events like these, you want to be able to take this information to move your business to the next forward. What if you're able to take a piece of information from one of our workshops and we're able to add an extra $2,000, $3,000 income into your business just because of one thing that we said during a workshop or one thing that was said during a retreat? So that ability to step into and continue your financial growth is something that you have to look at when you're like, okay, do I want to invest in a workshop? Do I see the value inside of there? Do I go to a retreat? And that's one of the things is like, you've got to look at the connections that you'll make in these events, right? The connections are everything. I have heard that from more and more women, that it wasn't the cost of the event that was like a differentiate. What they knew was that attending that event, they would meet somebody that would transform their business. And that's what we curate, is those relationships as event planners, as women that are putting together events, is that we want to put you in a room with other women that you build relationships with. That you could be one connection away from totally changing your business. Any thoughts around that? I mean, what happens to you in your events?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for me, most of the time, it's the relationships from the people that I met that I'm still in contact with today. I mean, and it's like, it's the different people that you meet, and it may not be that individual person. It may be somebody that they introduce you to. And it's like, I love those different connections that we make, and being at retreats, whether it's a workshop that's a day or if it's a retreat that's a couple of days. I think the retreats that are a couple of days are even better, but especially ones that are able to curate events that foster those relationships. And it's like, there's a difference between, there's a value in the conferences that are in hotels and these big conference rooms, because there's a mass amount of people. But there's also there's a different value in ones that are small and curated around different external or nature or different things like that. So you get different things from different ones, and they all have value. And it's like, honestly, for myself, I don't think I've ever left a conference regretting that I went. Yeah. And it's like, I get something out of every conference, and that also is dependent on you and your attitude and your motivation for going too.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that when you look at what events have always been a big thing for me. I love hosting events. I love putting on workshops, and I like even putting on workshops where I'm not presenting. Crazy as that is. I like to bring in experts. And
those are my favorite, where I'm not presenting.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like we've been talking with individuals that are like, we've got a lady that teaches, she's a for profit first. So she's a profit first specialist, and she wants to be teaching and training women about, how to set up your business as a viable business to one day either to sell, expand, grow. Like, you need to have certain elements in place that often aren't talked about in the digital marketing space of business, right? We get so wrapped up in our business idea and our marketing that the financial education is still left to the back seat.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at like partnerships around that one, like bringing together workshops where you walk out of there with tangible tools around how to take care of your business and how to take care of your business financially so that you stay in profit, so that you continue to have money that comes in, right? The other thing we were looking at is we met a couple of amazing women here also, and that we've been networking with. And again, it all happens in person, and it usually happens in side conversations. But it was like conversations around like, do you want to learn how to set up a nonprofit? Do you want to learn how to put together your own organization for your company? Is that something you're interested in? Because we have a specialist that we can bring in that can teach you how to set up a nonprofit within your organization so that you have that as part of your foundation or even as your primary for your company. So building those partnerships and having those women be able to come in and deliver, workshops, be able to be at our retreats, be able to give you that type of information is, for me, really, really important. So we're just scratching the surface here inside of Truth Mom Academy for what we're putting together. But I've always known the fastest way for anyone to really grow as a human being is to get to in-person events. As awesome as online events are, and there is value. I've done I've done lots of challenges. I've done a lot of meetings online. They're really, really great, but there is nothing better than getting together in that same space and listening to people and having those side conversations. And the money conversations always take place not by the speaker on stage, and the speakers even know this, but by the people you meet in the audience. So when you come to a retreat, what we do is we bring together the best women, and then we design the retreat around those 12 women that are at that event, right? Really looking at what are they going to need. So it's not just the corporate development of these events. We're really looking at what is it women need, what's the fostering, what is the development that we need and to have inside of these business retreats that enable us to take the next step, maintain our energy level, learn what we need to do, and just continue to grow from there.
I love it.
Yeah. Anything else to add? Anything else that you've had experience with? Like, I know you're helping design a lot of these workshops and events. So any feedback around your experience, whether it's in putting it together, the cost of the events, because even renting a room for a workshop, there is a cost to us.
There is a cost. And sometimes I think, it's like, for me, it's like sometimes I look at retreats and I look at I look at it's like, do I have the time? Do I have the finances? And do I have the energy to do this? And sometimes it's like, I don't have any of the three. And there have been times, but then I look back and it's like, it's still a decision. It's like, and like I said before, I've never regretted going to a retreat. I have regretted missing retreats. And it's like, because then it's not, for me, it's not always that I'm going to make another $10,000 in my business because I went to this retreat. It's the experience of the retreat that changes something in me. And I think so sometimes it's not always monetary, it's more personal, but that in long term does turn monetary. And I think that's for a lot of women. It's like, it's the experiences and the memories that are inputted into us that change something in our lives.
Yeah.
And so it's,
I think it is important. I think retreats are important. I think workshops, I know we've done workshops that are in the sound energy space, right? That's not in the wheelhouse for what we typically would think, right? But we went to them just to meet other women, and we met extraordinary women, and we had a good experience in there. But sometimes we get so stuck in this wheelhouse of the events that we go to, and sometimes that's one of the things that I'm looking at when we put together our events and our retreats within the academy, and we bring them together, is that what's different about this also, right? Where are we bringing in elements that aren't traditionally found in the business world?
Right.
But they are so soothing and so needed for us as women to dive and live in our creativity and in our space and understanding how we are being impacted by all this. So I think it's super important.
Excellent.
Yeah, so with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of Did She Really Say That? For those that are inside of our Truth Bomb Academy, you guys are watching us live. For those that are on our podcast and listening to us, definitely give us a 5-star rating. If you're on your favorite platform, we love your feedback. We always have a question at the end of every episode. We would love for you to answer that and just kind of let us know how we can continue supporting you in this podcast and in this conversation, because we know that as women, we definitely say things that make you go, So to learn more about the Truth Bomb Academy and what we're up to here as female entrepreneurs, head over to truthbombmarketing.com, poke around, click on a lot of buttons, see what's there for you, and we hope to see you inside the academy. With that, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.